Hey, this is Joe Hernandez, the voice of 𝐓𝐷𝐬𝐭𝭭𝐞𝐫 in Zelda Breath of the Wild, asking you to subscribe to 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐺𝐠 and listen to our interviews and episodes together on this Zelda podcast, the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 Gamecast. And for all the latest up-to-date news on your favorite Goron, be sure to follow me at Joe Hernandez VO.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 𝐓𝐻𝐻𝐽𝐺𝐠 channel. I'm your host for this video, the Geek Apprentice, coming at you with some news about a possible new Switch model. Real quick, if you're new here and enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on because we're going to have some pretty cool guests coming pretty soon, at least in the next few weeks possibly. So, just so you know. Be on the lookout for that. And real quick, if you haven't already, be sure to consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel and definitely turning those notifications on because we are going to be having some pretty cool guests very soon on our podcast, the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭�0 Gamescast, which you can watch here on YouTube or download on iTunes, which if you do, be sure to leave us a review. We love reading them, especially on the podcast at times. So today's piece of news comes from mynintendonews.com. It says, Economic Daily News. Sources cite new Switch model for early next year according to people in the supply chain. The Taipei, sorry about pronunciation, based Economic Daily News is reporting today that Nintendo is apparently readying a new Switch model for release sometime early next year. The news from the publication comes from various sources within the supply chain. Nintendo has long been rumored to be developing a slightly more powerful Switch system, which would benefit both consumers and developers. However, the Kyoto-based company hasn't announced anything as of yet. Here's a quick summary from Reset Era member Plebc, or Pleb. The new Nintendo Switch will begin production later this year and be released early next year. Macronix, one of the official Nintendo provider for game carts, is expecting record sales next year, and Macronix will be supplying parts to Nintendo for this new model with better image quality and interactivity. So I know the first thing people tend to say when it comes to rumors about a new Switch is that they just completely deny it, that it's not happening, that Nintendo has shut this down so many times. But do you remember the 3DS? Do you remember how they flat out said, oh, we are not going to change it up at all, we love it as is, but then they came up with the new 3DS, they came up with the 3DS XL, the new 3DS XL, the 2DS, everything. So, They come out with new stuff, and it makes sense for them to do so. Also, when you flat out ask someone working at Nintendo, are you working on a new Switch model when they haven't announced it? It's not like they're just gonna go, oh yeah, we weren't gonna announce that for another year or year and a half, but I'll just go ahead and tell you, random journalist. They have to keep these things a secret so they can announce it in their own way, which Nintendo doesn't know any other way than their own way, and we love them for it. Sometimes we don't, but that's beside the point. It is so not out of the question that this rumor could be very much true. I mean, we heard rumors about the Nintendo Switch Lite, and people thought that was crazy, that defeats the point of the Switch, you can't play it on a TV, but those turned out to be true. And they've already upgraded the current Switch without really announcing it, just, every time they made new Switches, they now have a more powerful battery. But nonetheless, the point being, absolutely they're probably going to be updating the Switch and coming out with something like a Switch Pro. I mean, this is something that has been wanted and rumored by many, many people within this industry and within the world of reporting on Nintendo, including us. And they made a good point in this short article about how this would be good for both the company and developers of games. There's some games that had to be kind of downgraded to be put on the Switch. I mean, I love the Switch. I know you all love the Switch, but it kind of stinks that some high quality image games had to be a little bit downgraded to be able to work well on the Switch, which we get because, most Nintendo fans, we're not in it to just have ultimate power in our consoles. We want good games, and that's what Nintendo's about, and we love that. But that doesn't mean Nintendo's not trying to get a more powerful console. I think it makes perfect sense that they are definitely coming up with a more powerful console, and we can deny it all we want, but Nintendo's history has shown that they come up with multiple models for the devices, so why would the Switch be any different? I love the Switch, but it's not perfect, and it has ways that it can improve in many, many respects. I mean, imagine getting to play Breath of the Wild, which was already gorgeous on the Switch, instead of 900, but 1080p. Oh my gosh, it's already gorgeous, but just imagine having that extra image quality. Imagine having Breath of the Wild 2 in that image quality from the get-go. Oh, yes, that would be glorious. It's also worth pointing out that the supposed possible release for this upgraded Switch would be near the time of the release of the PlayStation 5 and other next-gen consoles, and the Switch has to keep up. Now, one could argue this wouldn't happen because Nintendo doesn't want to get involved with that and they want to focus just on games, but you know that they're already focusing on games. So just making a quick little update to the Switch to have better image quality and even stronger battery life than it's already got would be great and, would keep the Switch even more relevant. I mean, it's already still pretty relevant, but, they need to have a leg in this race. And again, it wouldn't necessarily be about having some massive boost in power, but just enough to make the current games even better, which I think we would all appreciate. Well, maybe our wallets won't. But hey, for those people that still have not gotten a Switch because maybe there just aren't enough games for them personally, or they want to wait till there was better graphics, then hey, this will be perfect for them. And then you'll have those of us who will probably still try to get a new one anyway. I mean, let's be honest. Let's say they dropped Zelda Ocarina of Time right now for the Switch. I have it on 4 different devices, and I would still buy it. Nintendo knows their audience, okay? They know us. They know what we'll do. But that is just our 2 cents on the whole thing. We would like to hear from you guys now in the comment section. Let us know what you would like to see in an upgraded Switch, if you would even like an upgraded Switch at all, what games you would look forward to playing with better image quality. I know, like I said, Breath of the Wild would be so freaking glorious, even more glorious than it already was if it had higher image quality. I would love it. And Animal Crossing, already gorgeous. Look even more gorgeous, just all of the gorgeousness, right? Once again, I gotta remind you guys to please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, check us out on Patreon, see if any of those tiers interest you. We would love your support. Check out the Highland Gamescast podcast, where 𝐓𝐰𝐢𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 himself, 𝐘𝐸𝐻𝐵ERGERSON, 𝐓𝐵LIMA, and myself, the Geek Apprentice, all have a really good time discussing all of the news, all of the theories, and it's just, you won't regret it. Go download it. Highly recommend. I'm not biased at all. Speaking of biases, if you like my voice and would like to hear it more and see my face and hear me talk about things, not just Zelda, but other geeky topics as well, you can head on over to my channel on YouTube called The Geek Apprentice, where you will find said videos. Thank you guys again so much for watching this video, and until the next time, bye!